My husband neglected me during pregnancy, and I had to cook for my in laws every night. When I said no, our marriage almost broke down. I never envisioned myself in this predicament, yet here I am, 12 weeks pregnant and experiencing an unprecedented level of stress. My name is Lily, a 28-year-old female, and I've been married to Adam, a 30-year-old male, for 2 years. We initially crossed paths 6 years ago at a barbecue hosted by a mutual friend. I was instantly attracted to his relaxed demeanor and his laugh, which could light up any room. We immediately connected, discovering our mutual appreciation for niche indie bands and delightfully awful sci-fi films. Our relationship quickly deepened. Within a year of meeting, we moved in together, and shortly after, during a romantic beachside weekend, Adam proposed. It was a dreamy setting with the soothing sounds of the ocean and the sunset painting the sky in vibrant hues. Our wedding followed, a quaint affair graced by the presence of our nearest and dearest. It felt like something out of a fairy tale. It's worth noting that Adam hails from a tightly knit family, the kind that gathers every Sunday for dinner and observes every minor holiday with grand celebration. Initially, I was charmed by this. Coming from a smaller, more dispersed family, the warmth and unity of Adam's family were refreshing. Early in our cohabitation, Adam's mother, Carol, age 55, would drop by weekly with homemade dishes or to assist with laundry. Despite the slight overstepping, I valued her efforts. Adam's sister, Megan, age 32, who lived just blocks away, made frequent visits to catch up over coffee or to borrow items. It was all quite harmonious at the time, and I endeavored to welcome the family-centric lifestyle. However, the dynamic shifted recently. About a month ago, we discovered I was pregnant. Ecstatic, as we'd been trying for 6 months, we organized a modest dinner to break the news to our families. This is where complications began. Since our announcement, Adam's family's involvement has intensified dramatically. Carol has made it her routine to visit in the afternoon, supposedly to help around the house, which often translates to her rearranging my belongings and offering unsolicited critiques on my housekeeping. Megan often drops by unexpectedly with her children, transforming our usually serene evenings into frenetic, impromptu playdates. Even Adam's father, Tom, 57M, who previously preferred the comfort of his own home, has started finding reasons to visit us more frequently. The crux of the matter is my job as a software developer at a demanding startup. My work often extends into the late hours, and I usually don't return home until around 6 p.m. Adam, working as a marketing manager for a large corporation, keeps similar hours. However, a significant issue arises from his habit of inviting his family over for meals without consulting me first. And invariably, the expectation falls on me to prepare food for everyone. Cooking, once a cherished hobby that allowed me to decompress, playing music, sipping wine before the pregnancy, and enjoying the culinary arts, has now morphed into a substantial strain. With the added challenge of enduring all-day morning sickness, the last thing I desire is to arrive home to cook for a group of 6 to 8 people. Adam seems oblivious to how taxing this is on me. He assumes I can effortlessly conjure up meals for his family on short notice. When I express my fatigue and reluctance, his response is dismissive, suggesting, "Can't you just whip up a quick pasta dish?" As if preparing a meal for a large group were a trivial task. I've attempted multiple discussions with Adam about my exhaustion, the stress from incessant family visits, and my need for more rest. But my pleas fall on deaf ears. His retort is always the same, "They're family, Lily. We can't just turn them away." It's as though he's utterly unaware of my needs. This ongoing situation has begun to impact my professional life. I'm lagging behind on projects due to constant fatigue. My team leader has taken note and inquired if I was all right. It left me at a loss for words. How does one explain that their spouse's family is nudging them toward a breakdown? Last week, the tension reached its peak. After an especially grueling day at work, where we were troubleshooting last-minute bugs for a new feature launch, the pressures at home and work collided disastrously. I didn't leave the office until 7 p.m., feeling particularly queasy. All I yearned for was to retreat into bed with some crackers and ginger ale for comfort. Instead, I arrived home to a chaotic scene. Adam's parents, his sister, her husband, and their 2 energetic children were all sprawled across our living room. The children were bustling about, their shrieks filling the air as they darted around, occasionally bumping into furniture. In the kitchen, Kara was rummaging through our cupboards, openly criticizing our selection of kitchenware. Meanwhile, Adam was the picture of relaxation, reclined on the sofa with a beer in hand. Upon noticing me, he brightened up and blithely said, "Look who's here. I told them you wouldn't mind whipping up dinner for everyone." That moment was the breaking point. Overwhelmed, I retorted sharply, "Then you can cook for them," and stormed off to our bedroom. Adam, incensed, followed me, accusing me of disrespecting his family and causing him embarrassment. We had a fiery argument where he claimed I was trying to drive a wedge between him and his loved ones. His words were almost unbelievable. Exhausted and seeking solace, I packed a bag the following day and retreated to my parents' house about an hour away in the town where I grew up. The familiarity of my childhood home brought a mix of comfort and oddity. My mother, 59F, has been incredibly supportive, ensuring that I am well fed and rested. My father, 61, though more reserved, clearly shares the concern. It's been a week since I left, and Adam's attempts to reach out have been minimal. A single text inquiring about my return with no apology or recognition of my feelings. I'm beginning to question if he truly misses me or understands the gravity of the situation. Despite my deep love for Adam, when it's just us, he's considerate, affectionate, and we share genuine laughter, I am at my limit. The constant invasion by his family and his apparent prioritization of their comfort over mine is unbearable. My doctor has already noted my heightened blood pressure at my last appointment, but the thought of dismantling my marriage is daunting. The idea of navigating motherhood alone fills me with dread. Am I overreacting? Should I just endure the constant family invasions? Or is my insistence on setting boundaries justified? I'm desperately in need of guidance on how to navigate this predicament. I feel like I'm at a pivotal juncture, uncertain of which path to choose. Update 1. It's been roughly 2 weeks since my initial post, and much has transpired. I'm grateful for everyone's support and advice. Your insights have helped me view the situation from a new angle and emboldened me to act. After a week at my parents' home, I realized I couldn't avoid the issue forever. Seeking resolution, I contacted Adam to suggest we meet at a neutral location to discuss our issues. We chose a quiet cafe near our home, a spot reminiscent of our premarital weekend brunch dates, a place untainted by recent strains. Upon arriving, I found Adam already there, looking unusually weary and unkempt. This was a stark contrast to the meticulous appearance he normally maintains for his corporate role. Observing him in this state underscored the mutual strain our situation had imposed. The initial part of our conversation was strained. Adam expressed lingering resentment over my perceived disrespect towards his family. He recounted the evening I lost my temper, revealing that his mother had been deeply upset by my outburst. Taking a moment to center myself, I calmly articulated my feelings of being overwhelmed and neglected. I described the physical and emotional burdens of balancing a demanding job during pregnancy with the expectations to host and cook for his family frequently. I reminisced about the days leading up to our marriage, highlighting the tranquil evenings we once shared, experimenting with new recipes or enjoying our favorite series, moments that bonded us. I confessed my longing for that intimacy, feeling as though his family's constant presence had overshadowed our relationship. To my relief, Adam seemed more receptive this time. He listened intently, allowing the space for a genuine dialogue about our concerns and hopes for the future. He acknowledged that he had not fully grasped the challenges I was facing. Apologizing for his lack of consideration and for wrongfully accusing me of trying to alienate him from his family, he admitted that his excitement about becoming a father had led him to excessively involve his family. He now recognized that he had taken things too far. Our extensive conversation at the cafe brought back memories of the early days of our relationship, where hours would pass as we enjoyed each other's company. By the end of our discussion, we had established clear boundaries. No more unexpected dinner guests. Adam agreed to consult me before inviting his family over. Additionally, if we were to host dinner guests, Adam would take on the responsibility of cooking or arranging takeout. We decided to limit family visits to once a week to ensure we had sufficient time for ourselves. Adam also committed to being more supportive during my pregnancy. I returned home feeling a guarded sense of hope, and for a week, Adam faithfully adhered to our new rules. He even prepared dinner when his sister Megan visited, ensuring she left early enough for me to rest. It seemed we were finally in sync. However, this harmony was short-lived. After a taxing day at work, where project delays and pressure from my boss had worn me thin, I was eager for a tranquil evening, perhaps a soothing bath followed by some downtime with Netflix. As I drove into our driveway and noticed a strange car parked outside, my heart dropped. Entering the house, I was greeted by the sight of Carol, Adam's mother, in our living room, enthusiastically discussing nursery designs while surrounded by baby magazines. I looked at Adam, hoping he would recall our agreement, but he only offered a guilty expression and remained silent. Carol declared she was staying for dinner and began to criticize our home for not being baby ready. She claimed her experience raising 3 children made her an expert on what needed to be done. I reminded Adam of our agreement in a low voice, but he dismissively replied, "It's just my mom, Lily." His casual dismissal of our carefully laid plan stung deeply, reigniting the frustration I thought we had moved past. "Don't make a big deal out of it," he said nonchalantly. I felt a mixture of betrayal and anger. It seemed as though all the progress we had made dissolved in that moment. Overwhelmed, I excused myself to our bedroom, seeking refuge from the tension, while Carol's voice continued to echo from the kitchen, remarking on the supposed oversensitivity of pregnant women and the need for Adam to be patient with me. I had to muster every bit of restraint to keep from confronting her directly. That evening, after Carol had left, Adam and I faced off in another heated exchange. He labeled me as overly sensitive and pressed me to be more accommodating towards his family. In response, I insisted that he honor our agreements and defend me against undue criticisms. I reminded him of our detailed discussions at the cafe, but it felt as if he had dismissed all we had agreed upon. The night ended with Adam on the sofa and me isolated and forlorn, pondering the future as I lay awake, gently caressing my belly and wrestling with the dire state of our relationship. The following morning, I called in sick to work, unable to muster the composure needed to face my colleagues. I spent the day seeking out pregnancy support groups and therapists in our area, determined to find guidance through this turmoil, regardless of Adam's stance. The constant stress had begun to take its toll, not just emotionally, but physically. My morning sickness returned with vengeance, and I noticed a concerning weight loss, which alarmed my doctor. Resolved to address these issues, I scheduled an appointment with a marriage counselor, prepared to attend alone if necessary. While I cherish Adam and yearn for our marriage to succeed, I am coming to recognize that love alone may not suffice. I need a partner who genuinely respects and supports me, prioritizing the well-being of our growing family. At this juncture, I am uncertain if Adam can fulfill that role. Thank you to everyone who has offered support. I promise to provide an update as soon as there's more to share. Update 2. It's been a month since my last update, and regrettably, the news isn't positive. The challenges with Adam and his family have escalated despite my earnest attempts to mend our relationship. Following Carol's unexpected visit, I scheduled an appointment with a marriage counselor. I informed Adam about the session and invited him to join me. He initially agreed, albeit reluctantly, but on the day of our appointment, he backed out, citing an urgent work issue. Disappointed yet determined, I attended the session alone. Dr. Martinez, a soothing presence in her 50s, listened intently as I shared my distress and concerns. She offered strategies. Kara was orchestrating a tour of our home for a group of relatives, pointing out various things that purportedly needed fixing before the baby's arrival. I felt increasingly overwhelmed. A panic attack was imminent. The cacophony, the invasive crowd, and the subtle digs at my domestic skills proved too overwhelming. I retreated to the sanctuary of our bedroom, attempting to stabilize my racing heart and suppress the rising nausea. Adam came after me, visibly upset, questioning why I wasn't mingling with the guests. When I brought up our previous agreements and expressed how this situation was exacerbating my stress, he lost his temper. He branded me as selfish, claiming I was dampening his excitement about fatherhood. He argued that his family's tight-knit nature was being threatened by my actions. The confrontation intensified quickly, with both of us exchanging increasingly harsh words. Amidst the heated exchange, Adam blurted out, "If you can't accept my family, maybe you shouldn't be part of it." That statement struck me deeply, cementing my fears that Adam's allegiance to his family's desires would continually overshadow my needs. In that moment of clarity, I hastily packed a bag, barely noticing the puzzled glances from his family as I exited. The thought of burdening my parents again was unbearable, so instead, I called my sister Emily, who lives about an hour away. She instantly urged me to come stay with her. I've been with Emily for the past week, grateful for her unwavering support. She took time off work to be by my side, offering distractions through nostalgic movie nights and late-night ice cream sessions, reminiscent of our teenage years. This break from Adam is crucial. I need to prioritize my well-being and that of the baby. I've requested Adam to refrain from contacting me for some time, and to my surprise, he has complied. The only communication from him has been a brief text inquiring about my and the baby's safety. While I valued his concern for our well-being, it pained me that he seemed indifferent to the emotional turmoil he had contributed to. I am now 18 weeks pregnant, and the changes in my body are becoming more apparent. Emily accompanied me to my latest doctor's appointment, providing comforting support as we listened to the baby's heartbeat. It's heartbreaking that this period, which should be filled with joy, is overshadowed by such turmoil. I'm contemplating significant decisions regarding my future, including the possibility of separation or even divorce. It's a path I never hoped to consider, but I must prioritize the well-being of both myself and my child. I've arranged another session with Dr. Martinez to guide me through these challenging times. Additionally, I'm seeking legal counsel to better understand my rights and options. Emily's friend, a family law attorney, has kindly offered a free consultation. For the moment, I'm focusing on taking each day as it comes. I'm making an effort to eat healthily, rest sufficiently, and maintain a positive mindset for the sake of my baby. Emily has been incredibly supportive, helping me transform a corner of her guest room into a temporary nursery. We've also been shopping for maternity wear and baby supplies, trying to find joy in preparing for the arrival of my child amidst the ongoing challenges. Thank you to everyone for your ongoing support. Your encouraging words and advice have been invaluable during this difficult period. I promise to provide another update soon. Update 3. 2 months have passed since my last update, and I'm now 26 weeks pregnant. There have been significant changes, and I wanted to share the latest updates with you all. After spending 3 weeks at Emily's, I realized it was time to make more definitive decisions about my future. Living in uncertainty was no longer feasible, especially with the baby's impending arrival. I reached out to Adam, proposing we meet at the park where he once proposed to me, a symbolic choice, reflecting the full circle of our relationship. The discussion was challenging, yet essential. Adam appeared changed. He was more subdued and introspective. He shared that he had spent much time reflecting during my absence. Surprisingly, he offered a sincere apology for his actions, acknowledging that his excitement about fatherhood had inadvertently caused him to neglect my needs and emotions. Adam revealed that he had extensive discussions with his parents and sister, acknowledging how their incessant involvement had overwhelmed me. He surprised me further by mentioning that he had begun therapy on his own, a significant step, considering his previous skepticism towards it, which he once dismissed as only for the weak. This initiative indicated his commitment to real change. He proposed that I return home, assuring me that things would be different. He promised to establish firm boundaries with his family, restricting their visits to once a week and only with prior notice. Additionally, he committed to taking on more household duties, especially cooking whenever we hosted guests. Although I was tentatively hopeful, I remained cautious. I told Adam I needed additional time to contemplate his proposals. Returning to Emily's place, I spent several days deliberating my options. Emily supported me steadfastly, advising me to prioritize my well-being and that of the baby in any decision. After thorough reflection and consultations with both my sister and Dr. Martinez, I chose to give our marriage another shot. Last week, I moved back home. Adam has faithfully adhered to his promises so far. His family has respected our new arrangement, only visiting after confirming with us first. Adam even took on the task of cooking a full meal by himself when his parents visited last weekend. While the chicken turned out a bit dry and the vegetables were slightly overdone, his effort was genuinely heartening. We've also started couples counseling, which has improved our communication and deepened our understanding of each other's perspectives. The sessions haven't been without their challenges, and tensions have occasionally flared, but our mutual commitment to resolving our issues keeps us focused on progress. I am cautiously optimistic about our future. With the baby's arrival just 3 months away, I find myself feeling genuinely excited once more, rather than predominantly stressed. Together, Adam and I have been preparing the nursery, a project that has brought us closer, reinforcing a sense of teamwork. Adam has become more involved and supportive, attending all my prenatal appointments, engaging actively, and even enrolling us in a childbirth class. something I had never anticipated he would take an interest in. Adam's family has also taken strides in honoring our new boundaries. Carol reached out to apologize for her earlier overstepping, acknowledging that her enthusiasm about becoming a grandmother had clouded her judgment. She inquired about ways to better support us, marking a significant progress in our relationship. While I recognize there's still a journey ahead, I remain watchful to ensure that Adam consistently respects my boundaries. For now, I am choosing to embrace the positive shifts we've made and remain hopeful for a happier future for our growing family. Thank you to everyone for your unwavering support through these challenging times. Your thoughtful advice and encouragement have been a cornerstone of my resilience. I look forward to sharing more updates once our baby is here. Wish us luck.